Coach Corey Wayne, and this is my video coaching newsletter. And the topic of today's newsletter is going to be, dude, she's not that into you. I got an email here from a guy who's a reader, and he's apparently got himself fixated on this one particular girl, and basically she has absolutely no interest in him at all, but yet he thinks, oh, well, it's just because she doesn't know me that well. And it's interesting, like when I look back, and I would say, having done this for a long time, a lot of guys really struggle because obviously us men tend to be egocentric, and masculine energy is all about purpose, drive, mission, direction, focus, achieving, that kind of thing. And so if we're focused on achieving, what a lot of times it will cause us to do in our relationships is we just think, oh, well, she doesn't like me yet. I just have to do something. I just have to achieve something or accomplish something, and I'll get what I want from her. I'll get the desired response. Well, a lot of guys, one thing I learned from one of my life coaches early on is he said people will do more to avoid pain than they'll do to gain pleasure. And so I look at situations like this where you got a guy, because women do it too, men and women both. They get fixated on people that they can have, or people that are unavailable or who don't like them, and they figure some turn of events or some set of circumstances in the future will change their luck, and then all of a sudden this person will magically find themselves head over heels in love with him, and they'll be together forever. I mean, after all, that's the shit you see in the movies all the time, right? All the movies that everybody's talking about how great they are, and the critics are giving them all the awards and kissing the ass of the directors, and basically the movie just presents this image that's just total bullshit. So maybe it's partly people deep down want to believe in that, but what I believe it really is that people are bullshitting themselves, because people will do more to avoid pain than they'll do to gain pleasure. And by staying fixated on someone you can't have, you know what you're going to get all the time. And so you really don't have to risk anything, risk any further rejection or whatever, because you're still fixated on this one particular person who's just being stubborn and not liking you. And it's just a matter of time before they throw in the towel and realize how fabulous and awesome a person you are. But the reality is that's just simply not what happens. Is by staying fixated on this person that you can't have, it causes you from having to experience pain or potential or perceived pain by going out and trying to meet somebody new, because then that means that if you start walking away from what you can't have and moving towards what you can have, that there's potentially a lot of things along the way that will be uncomfortable and unpleasant. And obviously that's definitely true. And so for a lot of people, it's just easier to just say, oh, well, this circumstance or event that I want to happen hasn't happened yet, and it's just simply a matter of time. And when that happens, it'll resolve everything. Meanwhile, the days, weeks, months, hours of your life, years of your life are just ticking by as you're focused on what you can't have, when you should be focusing your attention on interacting with and meeting as many potential candidates of what you're looking for, because it's simply a numbers game. So I got this email here from this guy. I'm going to read it. And he says, Corey, my standards are so high, I only have one girl in my mind. And you know what that tells me? Translation is, I don't want to try and find somebody else, because that would require actual real work on my part. And it's much easier to stay fixated on this girl who doesn't want me. And then that way, I can blame her as the reason why I don't have a girlfriend. That's basically what this guy is doing. He's psychologically psyching himself up. He's been reading my stuff, obviously, and he knows he needs to change some things. But he's justifying his story here is basically what's happening. And your story, as far as life coaching goes, is the story that you tell yourself of the part of who I am, what I have, identifying with who you are. I am my reputation. I am this, I am that. If this person will just be with me, then I'll have everything I want, that kind of thing. That's what your story is. She may assume that I don't understand women enough by failing one of her tests, but these tests are weak, immature, and do not prove the real me. women testing you has nothing to do with you. Women test all men. Because you got to understand, women are physically, most of the time, they are physically the weaker sex. And so they're going to say things and they're going to test men to see how their response is, because they're looking to see signs or patterns or responses that give away clues that you may be needy, insecure, a psycho, a stalker, a rapist. I mean, who knows? A control freak, an abusive boyfriend. That's why they test, is because it's the only way they can find out if you're a douchebag. Then that way they can reject you before you ever get to their front door or get in their house, or they put themselves in a position to where you could physically overpower them. So it's like you can't take it personal, but women are going to test you because they want to see what you're made of. They want to see if you understand women, if you understand attraction and how attraction works between a man and a woman. Because if you don't get it, they don't want to fix you, even though sometimes women do this, but the majority of them, they don't want to fix you. They just rather find a guy who's already got his shit together so they can have an effortless relationship. She doesn't want to have to fix you, and she's not looking for a fixer-upper, so to speak. She wants a guy that already gets it. He says, it's an immature test that has never proven itself in history. She doesn't call me because she doesn't know me. Again, you're bullshitting yourself, dude. And the reason that she doesn't call you is because she doesn't like you. I mean, attraction is not a choice. You either are minimally attractive to a woman or you're not. She either finds you at least okay, kind of cute, he's alright, I'd go out with him. If she doesn't find you at least that, say 51%, and higher interest, you ain't got a chance. It doesn't get a matter of 99% of the women that you meet every day think you're just as handsome or better looking than Brad Pitt. If the girl you like looks at you and you don't push her buttons, you don't push her buttons. You can't fret about it. You just gotta say, hey, you know what? You're fucking lost, honey, and you move on to the next person. That's the attitude that you have to have. Because you stay fixated, you're gonna get nowhere in life. He says, a lot of women have the theory that they are not supposed to call guys. I want to call her and will. I don't care if she's not interested. I mean, think about it. I was like, are you trying to become a stalker? Is that your idea? It's like, because you cannot force, cajole, or manipulate a woman into feeling attraction for you when she doesn't. You just got to admit, hey, you spent a lot of time, obviously, fixated on this one particular girl, and the only thing you really do is be realistic and move on. Because you're going to get nowhere. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. He says, we're both on probation. I assume he's talking about dating probation, because one of the things I talk about in my book is when you first start dating someone, is that they're on probation just like they've put you on probation. In other words, you're just kind of getting to know each other and you're not really sure if it's going to go, obviously, to the next level of being in a relationship. And him saying we're both on probation, it's like, you gotta understand something, dude. You're not on probation. You're not even in the ballpark. You're not even on the playing field. You're not even in the game with this particular girl. You don't even qualify as a man that she would even look at. And so you're wasting your time. He says, I have to get to know her. It's like, you never want to keep somebody who doesn't want to keep you. Maybe I can create non-chasing questions and opinions. I mean, listen to how silly that sounds. The very fact of you calling her and asking her questions, you're chasing her. And so you calling her and trying to get her to answer some questions, how is that not chasing her? He says, I text her what motivates her in life, and she answers. I text her, can you name some old films in your collection? And she doesn't answer that text. It's because she doesn't have any interest in you. Women make it obvious when they like you. They go out of their way to let you know that they like you. So it's so obvious that you can't miss it. But in this case, she's ignoring you because she doesn't feel any mutual romantic interest for you. It's silly that women are programmed to go for a guy that's not interested in who they really are. It's actually not true. When you go out on a date with a woman and you ask her questions that communicate that you're authentically, sincerely interested in who she is, it causes her to feel like, wow, this guy really is interested in who I am as a woman. And if you passed the minimum attraction test with her, her interest level will actually go up. But if you didn't even pass the minimum attraction test and you happen to be out on a date with her, because some women will go out on dates with guys that have no chance with them because it's better than staying at home looking at the four walls. If you go out on a date with one of these women, you're going to get nowhere. You're going to waste your time, and you're just going to keep giving yourself blue balls and emptying your wallet. So, I mean, that's what you need to do. You need to read my book and start applying what it teaches on other women so you can start to see the patterns to where you can tell the difference between a woman who you have a chance with and somebody you have absolutely no chance with. And so you can stay fixated on this girl, and you can waste the next year, the next 6 months, the next 2 years of your life. I don't really care. It doesn't matter. I feel sad for you because you're missing out. There's lots of girls out there that would love to go out with you, and once they, obviously, if you met them and they felt attraction for you and you passed their minimum attraction standards, but if you're not meeting women, then you're not going to be able to go out on dates with women that like you. So read my book, download it, and start applying what it teaches. And so if you find this message of value, you can show your appreciation by going down to the Wibbia toolbar, which is at the bottom of your screen if you're watching this video on my website, and click the PayPal donate button and donate any amount that you feel is equal to the value of the information in this video. At the very least, please share this page with all of your friends and family by clicking any one of the social network sharing buttons, which are also located on the Wibbia toolbar at the bottom of your screen. And if you have a question that you'd like to ask me, or there's a topic that you want me to cover in a future video newsletter, summarize it in 3 or 4 paragraphs and just give me several days to get back to you with a detailed response, because I get a lot of email and I got to concentrate on my paying customers' emails first, but be patient, I will get back to you. And if you want to talk to me right away, you can book a paid phone coaching session with me personally by clicking the Products tab at the top of your screen and follow the instructions. And I will talk to you soon.